retail, you should guarantee nothing. After all, none of it's in your hands. The people up the chain, you don't matter to them. Don't forget you're always replaceable. First job I had, I worked in maintenance. Boss liked to talk to me funny. He would say stuff like, today we're gonna do this, when I'd be the only one working. Don't work harder, just work smarter. Don't push yourself to the limit. In my time it was never worth the stress. So don't work harder, just work smarter. When you get there, give it 100%, but don't bother giving spare. The more you do, the more they expect of you, my dad says. So get your work done and go home. Don't work harder, just work smarter. Don't push yourself to the limit. In my time it was never worth the stress. So don't work harder, just work smarter. When you work in retail, you should guarantee nothing. After all, none of it's in your hands. Empty off your own plate, don't bloody your hands. You should not be drinking away your nights. Don't work harder, just work smarter. Don't push yourself to the limit. In my time, it was never worth the stress. So don't work harder, just work smarter. Don't work harder, just work smarter. Don't push yourself to the limit. In my time, it was never worth the stress. So don't work harder, just work smarter. Daddy said the more you do, the more they expect of you. TK365, today is episode 248, 249. This tune is called Don't Work Harder. This is a concept that I have been working with for a very long time. keeping this brief, every job I had up until I started working at the bicycle shop, which is the first small business I ever worked for, I've always tried to, to make more money, and to make more money, you always got to be the manager. So I always worked really, really hard and kissed a lot of ass without thinking I did for years. And every time I got to the point that like I finally got my chance of being a manager, either I got screwed over somehow, or when I got there, it wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be, and it was not the pay that I thought I was going to be getting either. So it just was like, eventually I realized that it's just worth it just to work hard, do what you got to do, but then just go home. You know what I mean? When I was a little kid, my dad used to say, the more they do, the more I expect of you, and he always said that, and don't stress yourself, and, everything else. And I just thought it was all baloney, like, he's worked the same job for 30 years, blah, 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 it's the same thing over and over again. But no, it's true. So one of my stupid old man euphemisms that I use is when I go into a store, I always say, when I go to the cashier, I always say, well, don't work too hard, it's not worth it. And they're always like, never feel like more of an old man when I do stuff like that. So that's kind of the purpose of the song, is kind of like, if you really enjoy what you're doing, then yeah, work your ass off. But if it's something where you're just there, just a punch clock, it's just do what you're supposed to get done and move on. I will never have a job, if the bike shop thing doesn't pan out years from now, somehow, I will never have a job where I'm ever trying to be manager or anything like that. It just won't happen. Like, if it happens, it's going to get delivered to me and they're going to ask me to do it. I'm not applying for shit, and I'm not doing any of that stuff anymore, because that was just ridiculous. It was, for years, I begged myself and took all these really crappy hours and everything else, and never panned out. Always ended up being screwed over somehow. So something I'll never forget, and something that, kind of works with me to this day. I probably tried to write a song about this for easily a decade. And I don't know, just came up here and was like, I was listening to Dylan the last couple of days, Neil Young Unplugged, and also, if you notice, I didn't do any rhyming in this either. I've been really trying hard to rhyme lately, and I have a feeling that's been kind of grabbing some of my attention from trying to be a little more free. So I decided just to say something today. So instead of making so much of a rhyming thing, I think it came out pretty good, actually. I'm not too worried about it at all. So that was pretty cool. So that's it. It's TK365. It's my attempt to perform an original song every day for a year. Creeping in on 250 consecutive days, 265. We start counting down from 100, which is crazy, crazy, crazy. I think once I get to that 100 days to go mark, that's when it's going to be real. Like, holy cow, this is really close. I mean, we're only 120 something from now, so pretty close. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.